Today we're in section 7.6, Solving Inequalities, on page 346. For the most part, solving inequalities is the method of solving them is the same way that we solve equations. We just do the opposite operation. Now, instead of checking our solution, we are going to graph our solution. What do we graph our solutions on? You guys remember? It was a number line, okay? So in example 1, all right, I have x is less than 2. X is less than 2. Okay, so I start off by looking, I always read what first? What do I always read first? I read the variable first, okay? And whatever my solution is, that number goes in the middle. So what two numbers go to the left? 1 and 0. What two numbers go to the right? 3 and 4. And then I look at my inequality. If it is just less than or just greater than, then I'm going to have an open dot. If it has the equal to, like these other two do, the bar underneath the inequality, then it will be a closed dot because it's equal to. That number could be a solution. So x is less than 2. It's going to be an open dot on the 2. And less than means that your arrow goes which way? Left. Less than left. Good. Less than left. All right. Okay. So now let's look at the top right example. X is, wait, how do I read this?
X is greater or equal to.
Very good. I always read the variable first. So Bruce, even though it's written backwards, I still read x is greater than or equal to negative 2. Negative 2 goes in the middle. What number goes to the left? Negative 3, negative 4. Because remember, the farther you get from 0 to the negative, what? The bigger the negative. Because you go 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, all the way into infinity, right? Right, Garrett? Good? Okay, so negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 1, 0. Now open or close dot? Closed because it's equal to, and then which way does my arrow go? To the right, because when I read my variable first, it's greater than. All right, questions? Okay. All right, now in the next one, 3 goes in the middle. What two numbers to the left? 2 and 1, 4 and 5, open or closed dot, closed because it's potential equal to, and left or right, to the right. So that's how I would graph a solution. Now in example 2, I start solving some of these. Remember, I solve them just like equations, opposite operation. So on the top left, what do I do to solve for D? I need to add 2 to both sides. D is less than or equal to 3, and then I just graph it. Open or closed dot, closed, and which way does my arrow go? To the left because it's less than. What do I do on the bottom left inequality to solve? Subtract 2. Somebody read me or tell me and tell me the whole answer. What's going to be my solution?
X is less than 6.
X is less than 4. X is less than 4. Open or closed dot on the 4? Open. Arrow going left or right? Okay. Feeling pretty? Are you guys kind of falling into that rhythm, okay, of doing these, graphing these? Okay. So now on the third one over here on the right, it looks a little different, okay, because my variable comes on the other side of the inequality. Don't try to switch it around because when you switch it around, you actually can't do that without changing the inequality, and most of the time you're going to mess up the inequality and you'll mess up your answer. So just leave it, okay? But you're still solving for the side with the variable. So what do you do to get x by itself? You need to add 6 to both sides. Very good. All right, someone read me this answer. Raise your hand. Read me this answer. Garrett?
18 is greater than 6.
Nope. Read me the answer. Caleb? X is less than 18. That's fine. That's fine. It's a very common mistake. Here's why, guys. Because if you read it, 18 is greater than x, which way are you going to draw your arrow on your solution, on your graph? You're going to draw it to the right, And that's not correct. You have to read the variable first. X is less than 18, and then you'll get your graph right. Okay, right, Tia? You with me? Okay, so this is basically how you would solve with addition and subtraction. All right, so now the next step is just solving these, and now what operation is connected to my variable? Multiplication and division. But I still solve it the same way I solved equations. So how would I solve the first one? 6x is greater than or equal to 84. Divide both sides by 6. Okay, so I divide both sides by 6, and how would I read my solution? X is greater than or equal to what? 14. And now I want you to go ahead and take a minute to graph your solution. All right, so 14 goes in the middle. What goes to the left? 13 and 12. And then 15 and 16. All right, open or close dot? Left or right? To the right. All right, who got that right? Good, good, good. All right, now on the second one, man, where'd my negative go? This is supposed to be negative 26. Okay, so now on the second one, x over 8 is greater than negative 26. What do I do to solve for x? What do? Multiply both sides by?
8 over 1.
By 8 over 1, or just 8. Same thing. Okay, so multiply both sides by 8. All right, and now x is greater than, what's negative 26 times 8?
208.
Not 208, but negative 208. All right, so now negative 208 is my solution. So what number comes directly to the left of negative 208? Negative 209. Remember, because it's negatives, I'm going farther away from 0. Negative 209, negative 210, negative 207, negative 206. Okay? Open or close dot on negative 208? Open. And arrow going left or right?
Right.
To the right, because it's greater than. Any questions? All right, so there's one exception or one difference between solving inequalities and solving equations. Up until this point, it's the same thing, right? Solving an inequality and equation, it's just a different symbol, right? Okay, but here's the exception to the rule. If I have to multiply or divide, did I say add or subtract? No. If I have to multiply or divide by a negative to get the variable by itself, I have to reverse my inequality. So if it's greater than, it becomes less than. If it's less than, it becomes greater than. All right, so on the top left one, what do I have to divide by to get x by itself?
You have to
You have to divide by negative 3. So now instead of less than, in your solution, x is greater than negative 6. And that's what you use to graph. You say, well, there's a less than sign in the original problem, so I need to draw my arrow left. No, you use the solution. Okay, x is greater than negative 6. So I want you to go ahead and graph that solution. All right, so what number goes to the left of negative 6? Who put negative 7? Raise your hand if you put negative 7. Okay, so the farther I get from 0, the larger the negative. Negative 8, negative 5, negative 4. Open or close dot? Open. Why?
Because
There's no equal to. It's just less or greater than. All right, which way does my arrow go?
Right.
To the right. Who got it right? Good job. All right, I want you to try to solve the next one. X over negative 3 is greater than or equal to 12. Go ahead and try to work the whole thing. Okay, so what do I do to both sides to solve for x? By negative 3. So what happens since you multiplied by a negative? No. What happens to your inequality?
Oh, you switch it.
You got to switch it. Did you say x is less than or equal to negative 36? Raise your hand if you got that. Okay, about half of you. Remember, if you multiply or divide, so did I say add or subtract? Does not apply. If you multiply or divide by a negative, your variable or your inequality switches. Now that changes how you graph your solution, doesn't it? So if you get your inequality wrong in your answer, your graph's going to be wrong too, and you lose another point. Negative 36, what number comes next to the left? Negative 37, negative 38, and then to the right, negative 35 and negative 34. Okay, open or closed eye? Closed, and an arrow going left. Who got the whole thing right? Good, awesome, Kayla, good job. Wyatt, good job. All right, guys, questions? There was probably 5 or 6 of you that didn't raise their hand. Do you guys have a question? Anything? Alrighty, moving on to example 4, solving a two-step inequality now. Okay, so now this is solved in much the same way that you solve a two-step equation. You move what is not connected to the variable first. So in the top left problem, in this one right here, what do I need to do first?
Need to add 13.
You agree, Bruce? You agree? You taking notes? You writing? Nope. Okay. All right, so you add 13 to both sides, and now rewrite your inequality. Somebody tell me, like in words, like what would your inequality be now once you add 13 to both sides? Marcus, do you know? MJ? 2b is what? Greater than, and what's 9 plus 13? 22. Very good. Okay, so now 2b is greater than 22. And Zach, how would I solve for b?
You have to divide by 2.
Very good. Divide both sides by 2. B is greater than 11. And now graph your solution. All right, 11 goes in the middle. Open or closed dot? Arrow going, nope, it's open. Arrow going right or left? To the right. Okay, I want you to solve the next one completely on your own now. Okay, move what's not connected to the variable first, and then solve for the variable. What do I do first to both sides?
Or add 7.
Add 7, very good. So what's my new inequality?
Negative 4x is
Yep,
less than or equal to 9.
not 9, but
Oh, yep, 16.
16, very good. Okay, so Chris, what do I do next? Nope. Divide both sides by negative 4. Anybody think they know the answer?
X is,
Jonathan?
I can't, it's hard to, I'm sorry.
X
It's
is,
greater than negative 4.
okay, close, greater than or equal to negative 4. Why did he say greater than? I thought it was a less than sign. Very good. You had to divide by a negative to solve, so you have to reverse the inequality. All right, so now negative 4, what number goes to the left? Negative 5, negative 6, negative 3, negative 2. Open or closed dot? Closed, arrow going left or right? To the right. X is greater than. There we go. Okay, couple more things I want to talk about. These are more specifically directed towards your homework questions. If I gave you the inequality m is greater than or equal to 3, and I gave you these two possible solutions, I want you to substitute them for m and tell me if the inequality is true or not. Show your substitution and then tell me yes or no. Write it on your papers. Show me your substitution and then tell me yes or no. Okay, so when I plug in 4, is it true that 4 is greater than or equal to 3? Is 4 greater than 3? So you would say yes. When you plug in negative 2, is it true that negative 2 is greater than or equal to 3? No. So you would say no. Okay, you have a couple of these on your homework. Got it? Okay, here's what I want though. I want you to write, this is the original problem right here. Okay, write the original problem and then answer it. Don't be lazy, okay? All right, now number 3, you have one like this. I want you to tell me, so write the inequality that is represented by this graph. You have 2 of these on your homework. Jackson, what's the inequality? X is
Less than negative 4.
Very good. X is less than negative 4. Did you get it? Okay, here's why. Here's the hints, okay? Well, what's my solution? What number is it graphed on? The negative 4. Okay, so how did he know that it was less than, not less than or equal to? Because it's a open dot, okay? Now, how did he know it was less than? Because the arrow's going to the left. Okay, so you have a couple of those on your homework where you just kind of piece it together. All right, now, you also have a problem on your homework like this. It gives you a statement and asks you to write the inequality that is represented by the statement. To vote in the USA, you have to be at least 18 years old. Write me an inequality that would represent this statement. All right, so if you're 20 years old, can you vote?
Yes.
If you're 60, can you vote?
Yes.
If you're 120, can you vote?
Yes.
Well, as long as you're still senile, or you're not senile, right?
Yes.
Okay, but, so, is it greater than or less than?
Greater than.
Greater than. But if you're 18, can you
Equal
vote?
to.
If you're 18, can you vote?
Yes.
So now whatever number is in the statement, that number is in your solution. Now, since you can be the number that's the solution, it's got to be equal to. And you're at least, so you've got to be greater than or equal to 18. Okay, you have one of these on your homework, okay? So that's how you would do it. If you understand that, that's everything you need to know for 7.6.